Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be taking a deep dive into,
Every door direct mail.
yeah, you got it, every door direct mail or
EDDM.
EDDM. Exactly right. Now, this is something that you've probably heard of,
Oh, yeah.
but we're going beyond just the basics on this deep dive. We're going to be uncovering a unique approach that's all about affordability and community collaboration. We're drawing insights from not vanilla media.
Yeah. This is an organization dedicated to helping local businesses thrive. And it's a really cool approach to this type of marketing.
It really is. Okay, so let's get this straight. EDDM, we're talking about sending shared postcards to every address in a specific area.
Yeah.
So this is tangible marketing. It's landing right in those mailboxes.
Physical.
Physical. But isn't that a bit old school? I mean, in today's digital world, do people even pay attention to postcards anymore?
That's a question a lot of people ask, and the answer might surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, EDDM postcards actually have a surprisingly high retention rate. Think about it. You get a visually appealing postcard. It has valuable offers from businesses right in your neighborhood. It's almost like a mini guide to local experiences.
Right. I
Uh,
see what you mean. It's not just junk mail. It's useful.
so how does this whole shared postcard thing work? Does not vanilla media just, like, cram a bunch of random businesses together on this thing?
Not at all. They actually take a strategic approach to this. They use large 9 by 12 postcards that are divided into sections, allowing multiple non-competing businesses to share the space.
Okay.
And this way, businesses split the printing and mailing costs, making it much more affordable, especially for smaller businesses.
So it's like a community billboard
Exactly.
delivered right to your doorstep.
Yep.
Pretty clever.
Good job.
But let's be real for a second. How do you track if this thing is actually working? It's not like you can click a link on a postcard. You're absolutely right. Measuring success with EDDM does require a little bit more ingenuity, but there are definitely ways to do it. Businesses can use unique codes or special offers that are exclusive to that mailer. So imagine you get a postcard and it has a code for 15% off at your local bakery. That's a pretty good incentive to, like, keep it around, you know?
Right. It's like a little treasure hunt in your mailbox.
Exactly.
So besides these codes, are there any other ways to see if EDDM is bringing in customers?
Definitely. Businesses can monitor their website traffic for any spikes that coincide with that mailing. So did a bunch of people suddenly visit their website after the postcards went out.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. And of course, there's always the classic method of asking customers directly how they heard about the business.
It's a little bit of detective work, but I guess you can piece together a pretty good picture of what's working. Now, Not Vanilla Media talks about reaching a premium audience with EDDM. What makes this audience so special? Are we talking about, like, people with gold-plated mailboxes or something?
Not quite. The premium audience in this case refers to people who are already inclined to support local businesses. These are the folks that are out there looking for new places to try, new experiences to have in their community. And they're much more receptive to these messages from businesses in their local area.
So you're tapping into a group that's already open to exploring local options. Makes sense. I'm curious about this exclusive placement strategy they mention. What's that all about?
So exclusive placement is a really interesting strategy.
Yeah.
Imagine you own a yoga studio. With exclusive placement, you could secure a spot on the mailer that is always reserved for health and wellness businesses.
Oh, okay.
So this means you won't be directly competing with another yoga studio, a gym on the same mailer.
So you're basically becoming the yoga studio
Exact.
in the eyes of the consumer. I like that. But what if I'm a business owner and I want to make sure that the other businesses on my shared postcard are, high quality? How do I, vet these potential partners?
It's a great question. It's important to do your due diligence and make sure that the businesses you are sharing space with align with your brand and your target audience. So you can check out their online reviews, visit their locations, and even reach out to other businesses in your network for recommendations.
So really, you're building like a mini community
Exactly.
within the larger community.
A mini community.
I like that. So at the end of the day, what's the ultimate goal of all of this? It's not just about getting your name out there, right?
You got it. The ultimate goal is to drive foot traffic, increase customer visits, and ultimately, of course, boost sales. You want to turn that postcard into actual customers walking through the door.
Okay, so we've covered the basics, some intriguing strategies, but let's get real. Can EDDM really compete in a world that is dominated by social media and online advertising?
That's where things get really interesting, and that's what we'll be exploring next.
All right, so we've established that EDDM can be a surprisingly effective way to reach local customers. But in a world where everyone is glued to their phones, does this old school approach still hold its own against the allure of digital marketing?
It's a good question, and I think the answer really lies in understanding the psychology of the modern consumer. We're constantly bombarded with digital noise emails, social media ads, notifications. It's overwhelming. And EDDM cuts through that clutter by offering something tangible, something you can hold in your hand.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the difference between getting a generic email blast versus a handwritten invitation.
Exactly.
One feels so impersonal and fleeting, while the other feels thoughtful and personal.
Exactly. There's a certain novelty and appeal to receiving a physical piece of mail, especially when it's beautifully designed and offers something of value. It feels more like a gift than just an advertisement.
I'm starting to see the magic here, so it's about standing out in a world of digital overload. But how do you actually make these postcards pop? What are like the design secrets that really grab attention?
Well, first and foremost, high-quality images are crucial. Think about mouth-watering food photography for a restaurant or vibrant images of people enjoying themselves for an entertainment venue.
So basically make it Instagram worthy, even though it's not on Instagram.
Precisely. You want to evoke an emotion, maybe a sense of desire or curiosity. And also, don't underestimate the power of white space. A clean, uncluttered design can make a big difference. It allows the key elements to stand out and breathe.
Okay, so it's not about cramming as much information as possible onto the card. Less is more.
Absolutely. You want to highlight the most important information: the business name, a compelling offer, and a clear call to action. Speaking of calls to action, they need to be strong and direct. Tell people exactly what you want them to do. Visit our website, call us today, or redeem this offer by this date.
Make it a no-brainer for them to take action. But here's something I'm wondering. We've talked about targeting specific geographic areas. Can you get even more granular with EDDM? Can you like target dog owners or people who love craft beer?
Yeah. You absolutely can. EDDM allows you to target specific demographics and interests using data like household income, age ranges, and even lifestyle preferences.
Whoa, so it's not just about blanketing a neighborhood. You can actually get pretty specific with who you're reaching.
It is,
Hmm.
and that's one of the reasons why EDDM can be so effective. You're not wasting resources on people who are unlikely to be interested in your product or service. You're laser focused on your ideal customer.
Now let's talk about tracking. We've touched on unique codes and monitoring website traffic, but what are some other creative ways businesses can measure the success of their EDDM campaigns?
One interesting approach is to create specific landing pages with unique URLs printed on the postcards.
Oh.
And this allows businesses to track exactly how many people visited their website as a direct result of that mailer.
That's a great idea. So
Oh.
instead of sending everyone to your homepage, you send them to a page that's specifically designed for that EDDM campaign. You can really see the direct impact.
Exactly. And it allows you to gather valuable data about your audience. So you can see what offers resonated, what pages they visited, how long they stayed on your site.
Okay, so we've talked about design targeting tracking, but what about the community aspect? How does not vanilla media encourage collaboration among businesses in these shared mailers?
Well, one of the things they emphasize is partnering with businesses that complement each other rather than compete.
Okay.
So instead of featuring two pizza places, you might have a pizza place,
Yeah.
a local brewery, and a dessert shop.
So you're creating like a little foodie adventure for the recipient. You're encouraging them to explore their community and try new things.
That's the idea. And by working together, these businesses can tap into a wider audience and create a sense of synergy. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
I'm starting to see why this approach is so appealing, but let's be real. There are always going to be people who see a postcard and immediately toss it in the recycling bin. How do you overcome that initial hurdle?
Yeah, you're right. Not every postcard is going to be a home run.
Mm-hmm.
But by focusing on visually appealing, design-compelling offers and strategic targeting, you significantly increase your chances of capturing attention and driving action.
Okay, but let's say someone does keep the postcard. What makes them actually use it? What motivates them to, say, visit that local bakery or try out that new yoga studio?
I think it comes down to creating a sense of urgency and exclusivity. So you want to highlight limited time offers, early bird discounts, or exclusive experiences that are only available through that postcard.
Make them feel like they're getting something special, something they can't get anywhere else.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of personalization. A simple handwritten note or a customized offer based on the recipient's interests can make a big difference.
It's about going the extra mile to show that you value their business and appreciate their support. Now, I'm curious, Have you ever received an EDDM postcard that really stood out to you? Something that made you actually take action?
I have. I once received a postcard from a local art studio offering a free introductory painting class. The design was beautiful, the offer was compelling, and it tapped into a long-held desire of mine to, explore my artistic side. So I ended up taking the class, loved it, and even signed up for a series of workshops.
That's a perfect example of how EDDM can be so effective. It's not just about advertising, it's about connecting with people on a personal level and sparking their interests.
Absolutely, and that's what makes EDDM so unique and powerful. It's a form of marketing that can genuinely enhance people's lives by connecting them with experiences and businesses they might not have discovered otherwise.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more crucial aspect of EDDM, the importance of storytelling.
Ah, yes. Storytelling is essential for any successful marketing campaign, and EDDM is no exception.
So it's not just about listing your services or shouting about your discounts. It's about crafting a narrative that resonates with people on an emotional level.
Exactly. Use your postcard to tell a story about your business, your values, and what makes you unique.
So instead of saying, we sell the best pizza in town, tell a story about the family recipe that's been passed down for generations or the local ingredients you use to create your signature dishes.
Precisely. Make people feel something. Connect with them on a deeper level.
Okay, so we've talked about design targeting, tracking community collaboration, and now storytelling. It seems like there's a lot more to EDDM than meets the eye.
There is, and I think one of the most important takeaways is that EDDM, when done effectively, can be a powerful tool for building relationships, fostering community, and creating a more vibrant and engaging local experience.
Well said.
Yeah.
Now, before we dive into some final thoughts and actionable takeaways, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far. What stands out to you as the most compelling aspect of this unique approach to EDDM?
For me, it's definitely the emphasis on that community collaboration.
Yeah. It's not just about these businesses kind of promoting themselves in a vacuum. It's really about creating a network of support and showcasing all the diverse offerings that a neighborhood has.
I completely agree. That shared purpose is so powerful, not just for the businesses, but for the entire community as a whole.
Yeah, it's fostering a sense of pride in your local area and encouraging people to actually go out and engage with their surroundings.
Exactly. And you know what? It makes it more exciting for the person receiving it. It's not just a random stack of ads. They're getting this curated look at their community.
I love that. It's like getting a little gift box of local treasures.
Mm.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's put ourselves in the listener's shoes for a sec. Imagine you're holding that EDDM postcard in your hand. What would make you, as a consumer, actually, stop and take notice and maybe even take action?
Well, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
for me, it comes down to a few things. Okay, first of all, the design has to be eye-catching, something that makes me want to actually pick it up and look at it.
So we're back to that Instagrammable
Yeah.
aesthetic, even though it's offline.
Exactly. And then the offer has to be something that's relevant to me.
Hmm.
It has to address some need or desire that I have. Maybe it's a discount for something I've been meaning to try or some kind of exclusive experience you wouldn't find anywhere else.
So it's not just about screaming like sale or free at people. It's
Mhm.
got to be something valuable to
Right.
that person.
Exactly. And you need a clear call to action.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want me to do. Make it super simple to follow through.
Like, don't make me have to search for your website or your phone number.
Right. Exactly.
Make it very obvious.
Okay.
So we've got great design, we've got a good offer, and we have a clear call to action. But beyond just those practical elements, I think there's got to be an emotional connection too.
Absolutely. EDDM is really good for storytelling and creating a sense of community.
Right.
If a business can show their passion and their values and their connection to the neighborhood,
Yeah.
it really resonates.
It's about showing the human side of things,
Yeah.
the people behind it all. That's what gets people, I
Yeah.
think.
Absolutely. It's that authenticity.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about this approach to EDDM.
Yeah, I think so.
We've gone over the strategies, the benefits, and the psychology behind it all.
It's been a great conversation.
It has, and hopefully our listeners are feeling a little bit more knowledgeable and inspired to go out and make their own EDDM campaigns a huge success. So, as a final takeaway, I want to encourage everyone to really think beyond that traditional marketing playbook.
Yeah.
Consider the power of community, collaboration, and genuine human connection.
Those are the things that really make a difference.
And who knows, maybe the next time you open your mailbox, you'll find a little piece of local magic waiting for you. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of EDDM.